The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And we have a beautiful Thursday, October 11th. I hope that's the right day. Yes, it is. All day, Thursday, October 11th, here at TFNN, the headquarters of technical trading and investing. We celebrate our Southern Heritage Food today. Southern Food Heritage Day is basically across all cultures, African, Latin, Caribbean, Southern ingredients, cooking styles, cooking techniques, bind the foods and the cooks together. Tropical fruits, vegetables, chilies, okra, dark leafy greens, smoked and salted meats. I don't know, I like smoked meats, but I don't know. That's salted meat. That's kind of like 100 years ago before refrigerators, right? Fish and corn come in distinctive forms, stewed and fried across West African, Caribbean, and Afro-Brazil cooking. Many distinctive aspects of Southern cooking are centuries old. And I guess, heart attack on a plate is normally what I think about when I think about Southern food. But I guess it has its place. Generally, if you need something really greasy to like sop up all that alcohol you had the night before, ham hocks, grits, tater backs, there's all kinds of stuff. I don't know what a tater back is. Just sounded like something that should be, kind of that kind of food. But it is what it is, Southern food. Good and greasy, ham hocks. I don't know how many people have actually eaten like raccoon, possum backs. Oh, Granny, she had some great recipes. I should have thought of that before I started the show today. And fat back and chicken lizards and there's always like some kind of pig thing. Gator tail. Oh, I had that before. They actually call that cooter up in the northern part of the state. But anyway, lots of Southern food out there. As we go back into the market, actually get started into the meat of the program, not in the cotton candy of the beginning here. We get and look at the S&P. It's up about 2 points, was up much higher. We'll get into that and the reasons most likely why. We've got 2.3 million shares are ready today. Look for some good signals by the end of the day. We sold in the close yesterday. I suspect that we saw a lot of pumping of Apple in the early morning. What is it doing now? Where's Apple now? Up to a high of 647 today, out at 631. It really needs to test that 621 level, and then we're going to know a lot more. The reason for Apple turning today was something that I had predicted, not about it turning, but something that was going to happen. We'll get into that in a few moments also. But lots of volume today. We're going to have probably the first big volume day of the week. So look for smaction. That is some action at the close today, because I think if we head on down again, we're going to see what I suspect is continuing distribution into pumps of the market. Every one of these pumps that we've seen over the last week or so has been sold, and fairly strongly by the end of the day, even if there hadn't been a great deal of volume. We're probably going to find something out when this S&P cash tests 1424, 1425 is about the bottom of this trading range. I suspect it breaks, and we see a nice 100-point move, or a little bit more than that, down to about 1350. In that range with low volume, we may have the start of the next big ABC up. If we get that on heavy volume, maybe we see much lower. But we'll take a look at that. In the news, Eric Schmidt, the chairman of Google, was talking last night. He's saying at the current run rate, there will be 1 billion Android devices, smartphones, tablets, tricorders, lunch boxes with Google's Android in it within a year. They're activating now 1.3 million Android devices a day. And granted, they aren't making the $400 or $500 that Apple is, but they're every single day cranking out 1.3 million Android devices. That's up from the beginning of the summer when it was 1 million Android devices. So the question is, would you rather have 1 million devices a day, or 1.3 million, and making $35 a pop off of them, or $30 a pop off of them? Or would you rather see that you're making $600 on them, but maybe you sell 10 million a year? Certainly the margins there for Apple, but I love this little graphic I found today with a little Android guy eating the apple. But we'll have to see. But certainly they are getting market share, and there's 2 points of view on this. I'll go through both of them. The first one is if you believe the CEO of Oracle, and that it is not just enough that you win, but the other person loses. And if you can't win, it's still important that the other person loses. And in this fight, one thing Google could not let set was Apple gaining control of all the devices out there, and basically shutting Google out as a potential competitor. Google's done a great job of rallying the rest of the troops. Now, why is this important? And why did even 9 months ago, I think I was doing the Tech Insider show with Tom O'Brien, we were both pretty committed. I think maybe it was the beginning of the maybe even last year. But we were pretty committed about one thing, and that was that over time, Apple, with their walled garden approach, would eventually succumb to the open market that we see in Android, and that's part of it. But the idea is that you don't want to go out and try to make enemies, and that's exactly what Apple has done. They made enemies in the industry they were in by going only with AT&T. They alienated the other providers. The other thing is marketing high technology. If you want to understand long-term trends in technology, this is the definitive book. It came out in like '87. I think it's been revised a couple of times. Bill Davidow, it's David Ow. O-W. David Ow. This looks weird to me every time I see it. But anyway, William H. David Ow. This book, when I read it about 1990, hit me like a ton of bricks about a lot of the rules and the things you should understand about long-term technology as an investor. But it really needs it's probably one of the best books if you want to understand the marketing side. One of his defining principles are that you're never bigger than a large market. So if you try to come in and own a market and you don't make strategic partners, you're eventually going to see those people come back and haunt you. That's exactly what's happened with Apple. They've alienated enough people. They've alienated other manufacturers with a lot of bogus patent lawsuits and litigation. And you're just never larger than the market. I think we see that kind of hubris right now in the Treasury and the Fed. We've seen it in past when basically the Bank of England thought it was bigger than the market and got clubbed like a little baby seal by Soros. It happens all the time when people believe that they are bigger than the market. You are never bigger than the market. They could have done well with helping a lot of other people get started and slowly eating them on the way to the top and basically assimilating them instead of making them enemies. Now what you have is a bunch of Taliban that is in a holy quest to kill off what they perceive as the enemy, and that's Apple. And what you want to do is make sure that you have just enough people that if a war does come, that they'll side with you. They don't have to be all of them. Unfortunately, Apple's walled garden approach makes everybody an enemy and everybody an outsider. Great book if you want to go back and read it. It's not much money, available on Amazon. But that's it. Anyway, what I was talking about last week, or maybe the week before, I can't ever remember. I should take notes on this show and take a look at it. Anyway, according to Reuters today, appeals court repealed the injunction on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus in the U.S. that was awarded to Apple in the patent lawsuit between the two companies. I was basically saying there's a 99.9% chance this all gets thrown in the trash bin. This is the first step, with the administrative court saying that it's a load of crap. And most likely, I imagine, probably after the first year, they'll come up with another ruling that says, let's retry this whole thing one time all over again and go through this, because the first court trial had so many, just a massive amount of judicial and legal errors and errors by the actual jurors themselves. I suspect that having the courtroom a few miles down from Apple's headquarters probably wasn't a smart idea either, and it probably should have been moved to somewhere like the middle of the United States, where everybody would have to fly and want to get it over quickly instead of dragging it out. Initial claims fell this morning. The market was up a little bit higher. Of course, not everybody didn't believe it. The numbers just didn't ring true. They don't move that fast this month. What we found out was California failed to give its unemployment numbers, and that's why they looked about 10% better than they should. And when you dig in a little bit farther, we might find the reason for the numbers being better with last week's job numbers may be the exact same. And that is that it looks like California's a little bit behind in reporting the numbers of the unemployed. We could see a swing, according to Business Insider, of up to 60,000 jobs over the next couple of weeks. I guess the idea was probably to keep this going on until after the election. I always smell a rat when it comes to any politician of any brand, but this is all the checks went out, so that California couldn't cough up these numbers sounds a bit dubious. There's nobody that didn't get their checks, and of course if the checks get processed, it's hit one button and you've got a number to send to Washington, D.C. That they didn't send it to them doesn't ring very true out there. Those spreadsheets, all those numbers, it's all computerized. You hit one number and it all pops out. It's not all about that. They're saying they didn't have time to get the numbers out because of vacations or all this other stuff. I don't buy it. Look for the revision on next week's numbers again. When we come back, we'll be looking at the next item out here. Not getting a lot of news coverage. The Russian and Syrians are going after Turkey, and we'll be talking about that in a minute.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, just a side note, I noticed it's not getting much airplay out there, but things are heating up once again in the Mideast. What a surprise. These aren't the people I know in that area. Calm, always, even demeanor, never yelling or raising their voice at all. Just all, group hug, kumbaya. Well, anyway, last night, or I think it was last night or yesterday, Turkey forced a passenger plane to land. And they were pretty sure what was on board. And this was some very sophisticated missiles that were most likely going to Hezbollah. Russia is actively moving in this arena. And over the last few days, if you didn't catch it, Syria has been lobbing mortars in and actually killing several people in Turkey. Turkey, of course, a NATO member, had two F-15s go up and force this plane down. Said that you can either land or you can crash after we put some 20 Mike through your plane wings. There were basic civilians on the plane, but there were a ton of basically missile parts that for guided missiles that you put on the front of unguided missiles, making everybody think that they were headed for Hezbollah and for use against probably Israel, and let's get everybody distracted on something else. Apparently they knew a great deal about it and forced the plane down. But this does follow many days of Syria at the behest of the Russians, no doubt, lobbing mortars in and killing some of their people. They said, it was all a big mistake, all a big mistake. Not a big mistake, especially when they start finding out this. Well, Russia's up and Syria's up in a big uproar, but basically what we find out now is Russia's got its little greasy hands all over the Mideast again, and it is a fight to be relevant. Putin doesn't like that, like every other socialist country, it's gone to hell in a handbasket. He'd like to bring it back to the way it was. Right now, he basically runs a mafia state where, just the biggest criminals are doing well. But it's going to be hard to find out. But plane was going directly from Moscow to Damascus, flying over Turkey. Bad news for them. Don't think that they'll be doing that again. It will. I think they'll fly their airplanes around with, but mostly NATO countries around there. I suspect that they start finding out a lot more very high-tech missile parts going across in civilian airliners will incur the wrath of Turkey again. But look for that to heat up again. Putin's always a one-upper, and I think if he's willing to kill a few people from Turkey last week, probably more than willing to kill more this week. So, give it to Turkey for standing up to the Putin. In the news, we're starting to see a lot of new computers hit the market that won't be for sale until the 26th when Windows 8 comes out. Some of these things are very, very Apple-licious, if you believe in Apple marketing ploys. To me, I'd rather have a box. I don't really care so much what it looks like. But what's really neat, in fact, I remember a year ago someone asked me if they should buy an all-in-one. I said, well, probably not, because it's not going to come with a touchscreen. Well, all these all-in-ones with Windows 8 and touchscreens that are really cool and tech-looking and look like you got them from Scan Designs or something are certainly out there. A lot of the leaked ads are coming out. But these new tablets and Ultrabooks and desktops are all coming out with these touch-sensitive screens, so you can use them any way you want. If you want to use them like a tablet, knock yourself out. If you want to use them like a mouse, that's also. But just the design level in some of these is as good or better than Apple. And as far as I understand, you don't have any touch interface available so far in the Apple world for PCs, just in the tablets. So kind of a first out here. But going to be very interesting to see, but we've got about the 26th. A lot of leaked ads already you can see on YouTube about Windows 8. They make it really look good, short on substance, long on dazzle and music. Very Apple-like. Short, sweet, swallowable, and no specs. That's other than probably under $1,000 for these high-tech PCs. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648.
Heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I guess that's pretty much it. We're seeing a lot of those tablets from Microsoft and Windows 8, but we've got, another 15 days, something like that, before they come out, 2 weeks. So that'll be interesting. So that I'm all ramped up and ready to go for the big Windows onslaught. I'm going to be on vacation next week. So if you want to call, this is the time to do it. 877-927-6648. Had some other questions in my mailbox. If you don't want to call in, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com, and I'll try to answer your email on the show if possible. If not, through email. But we've got a little debate going on tonight. Not since Bambi meets Godzilla has there been such a one-sided match. We've got one guy that's been in the witness protection program for the last 4 weeks. And it's going to be very interesting. I have a feeling no matter which side you're on, we've got someone who is more than willing to offer some comedic fodder. So I imagine all the people at Saturday Night Live and all the other shows will be up looking for the next big gaffe, but I don't think it will matter no matter what happens tonight. People don't elect vice presidents, they elect presidents, and both of them are fairly decent age. But I don't know, it may be more interesting than the rest of the debates combined, but it will be interesting. And it won't matter. So that's pretty much it. Let's get into some charts out here if we can. First one I wanted to look at. See if we can get to it here. I thought I had it. Well, what's going on here? There it is. We should have it up. Anyway, International Business Machines. We've got what I suspect is a confirmed short-term top. It's not a huge trading range, but we didn't have great volume, but we're back at the last time we had any kind of decent volume at in IBM. That was around 205.98 on the 21st of last month. So we're kind of pretty much coming into that range where we're going to find at least a little bit of support. I suspect over time it is headed back down to about 193. There's a nice little gap down there, and probably a fairly decent indication that this thing, even though it had higher volume, couldn't hold it, has a false breakout. Wanted to look at Apple also, of course. Pretty easy to figure out that everything in that Apple patent case was going to be thrown out, especially with the unredacted documents coming out last week that showed just what the judges, or at least the administrative judge, thought of a lot of what happened in the previous case. Looks pretty straightforward. Apple is got some support when you look at it before, right around that 644 level. Let's see if we, what was the high today in that? 647. So you got just over that today, and that's now that we've broken below that. If we can stay below that 644, pretty good indication that we're going to break 622 in the next few days and then get down to 600. And I suspect a lot of it is going to be just what I've been talking about for the last week or so, and that is look for margins on Apple to continue to be pushed by people willing to accept a whole lot less money, like Google, Samsung, to go after what's a pretty lucrative market. This day can turn into a real reversal if we watch just how well this market is moving on us. Again, give me a call, 877-927-6648, and we'll be glad to talk to you about that. Wanted to look at some of the stocks that are, see how much time I got here. Wanted to look at some of the NASDAQ stocks and see what's moving out there. Pretty much the weakest of the indexes when you compare it against the NYSE or the S&P 500. On losers today, the biggest one is Dollar Tree. Symbol on it is DLTR. We're going to see a lot of earnings over the next week also. So just be well aware that we're going to see a lot of surprises based on headline risk. And on this one, let's go back and get it. They came out with a warning. We're seeing almost everybody start to guide down in these stocks. Dollar Tree's sales at the low end of its prior forecast during its annual capital market conference today. So seeing as that is one of the bigger movers out here, they've got a little spike, and I think it was one of those intraday flash crash spikes down to $38.40. I wonder if it's got enough volume there that makes me think it's real. I'll have to go back and check that date later on, but this thing could be making its way fairly quickly down to $38.40. Ross Stores is another one that's off about 2.5%. Of course, the big clothes retailer, Ross Stores, not anything real big. Looks like it's got a previous low at $59.75 from June 28th. And we should be looking, volume's not all that exciting today. This thing may actually try to test a little bit more of that. It's basically in that candle that had almost 7 million shares on June 28th. This doesn't look near as bad as some of the others. Expedia off 2%, EXPE. Take a look at that one. It's got a nice big gap. This thing looks more like in a trading range. You'd want to look at this thing back in around the $50 and a half dollar level. There's a low, last major low, August 31st, with 2.9 million shares. This thing did break up and out. It has come back and retested, but now that it's failed back up at the top with higher volume, suggests a trading range that's back down here at this $50.47 low on August 31st. And how it comes back in there is going to be interesting. 2.8 million shares today, so not on the good side, but this thing may come back down and try to fill down maybe more of this gap down to about $48 or so. These big wide gaps don't like to be hung out for long. DirecTV, take a look at that real quick. I'm wondering when these things actually take the big nosedive. DTV. Satellite television, I suspect, is going to have continuing problems trying to rely just on delivery of information, video information, and not being able to pony up and basically hook up both TV and internet in one package, like the cable providers and fiber providers like Fios and what Google's working on. Doing it through outer space broadcast and not terrestrially is going to continue to be a big problem. Boy, it had some nice volume down. This thing looks like it's headed back down to the previous low, June 13th, $42.85. Not a lot of energy or volume here today, but you've had some nice reversal patterns, and I suspect, I don't know if it's going to be 6 months or a year from now, but at one point these satellite broadcasters are going to crack. KLAC is another one on the downside, over 1%. This one is kind of interesting, and it's a lot closer to actually making a low. Volume is not all that exciting so far. The gap that actually started a lot of this was about 3.7 million shares and goes back to the 30th of November of last year. It bounced off that gap up on June 4th, and the volume was probably, you would probably like to see a little lighter volume, but 2.6 million shares, not all that huge. We're getting in 2 million shares. You normally want to see these things bounce a couple of times before that, but this thing could be setting up a fairly large trading range between $44 and $54, but we're going to know here in just a couple of days when this thing gets back in that $44 range. Make sure and keep that on your watch list. Priceline, PCLN, they've been hurting and came off with some extremely heavy volume. Looks like that they went back, tried to test that gap, just like a lot of the other stocks I've been chronicling over the last week or so. These patterns are a great deal of them out there, and that almost all these stocks are coming up trying to fill the gap to some level, leaving a little of it and rotating back down. This one's had a couple of dojis up there at the high. You still have a fairly heavy low volume or high volume low in the neighborhood of 6.6 million shares on 8/8. And that's most likely where you're looking at this thing coming back into, which is about 562 or so, is going to be where support lays or lies. Lays or lies? I'll have to think about that. Priceline.com, of course, they've done very well. Shatner left. Some people blame it on that. I blame it on the weakness in Europe, where Priceline makes a huge amount of money selling international tickets, and they make almost no money on their tickets, almost all on hotels and rental cars. that the flights are off doesn't really hurt them so much as booking those hotels and the kind of cuts that they make off those hotels. And nothing looks like the international business in Europe from Asia into Europe or from the Americas into Europe has gotten any stronger. So we continue to look at that, although I imagine if you had a handful of dollar bills right now, you'd probably be able to stay in a very nice Greek hotel right about now, or a Spanish one. Probably be more than willing to do just about anything for those greenbacks right now. On the positive side out here, not to be a dark side Nelly, Fastenal, one of my favorite companies. I have nothing more than I like going in there and seeing all the collections of nuts and bolts, galvanized stainless steel, high temperature, and also those ones that have all the crazy little marks on the top of them, that they're super tough, that you could drive a 747 over them. Nothing like good American steel. Great things. Almost makes me feel like I need a crescent wrench right now. Anyway, these guys are taking off with some nice volume. Of course, they basically sell nuts and bolts and other kinds of fasteners. That's why they're called Fastenal. But I always like going into the places. It just seems like there's a never-ending amount of uses that I can find for nuts and bolts. Of course, I love tools, love working on my motorcycles, love working on cars and boats. But maybe that's just me. I think most other people have other hobbies. Let's see if we've got any headlines out here for Fastenal. Double-digit growth again. Apparently a lot of things are falling apart and people need nuts and bolts, which is actually a fairly decent sign for the marketplace. I'm going to have to find out what they had to say tonight after the show, but also fairly interesting. So continue that. Apollo Group is up about 3%, nothing more than a oversold bounce with a stock that's probably and perennially 50% short. Ctrip.com. This one actually, I think we were looking at it the other day, wasn't doing too bad and actually had a fairly decent chart pattern out here. And I was trying to look at it and see on a shorter time scale, maybe that's what I saw. Yeah, a little ABC ups here. No volume today, though, and filling a previous gap out here. So I got to keep a look on that. But you're looking for about 5 million shares as it goes just a little bit higher, and we're getting nowhere in that with about 1.3 million shares. Infosys, INFY. Not a lot in that. Another one that we pointed out, I think, last week, where it came up and was testing those previous highs out here. Let me get a little longer time scale. Again, blown apart back on, April 13th. Came down with almost 10 million shares. Slightly got above that. Of course, it's closed right back below it. You would love to see this thing come out and retest that July 24th low of $37.63. But you've got a nice $12 trading range in this thing setting up. And I think we may have some really great trading here, both short and long, over the next 6 months, as a lot of these stocks are setting up very wide trading ranges. And if we don't get any volume to the downside, we can see some nice ABCs set up in the market. Another one that is perennially short and going to be part of my Living Dead special on October 31st after my vacation. Oh, are we already out of time? No, we got one more segment. Whew. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648, and we'll discuss what you would like to discuss.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb, he made it better. As the fourth most prolific inventor, Edison found that most people failed because they failed to realize how close they were to success before they gave up. Success requires a few disciplines, practice each day. When it comes to trading and investing, one of those disciplines is understanding and acknowledging the language of the markets. For centuries, Japanese candlestick charting has unlocked the hidden treasures of the language of the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers. Candlestick charting is a tool, not a trading system. Candlesticks tell you when to enter, when to exit, and identify the risk and reward for every trade. Candlesticks identify market turns before they happen. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, and on Friday, October 19th, I'll be conducting an online, one-day course teaching you the secrets of Japanese candlestick charting. Go to the homepage at tfnn.com and sign up today, because candlesticks will make you a better trader.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
And we're looking at some of these stocks that are moving, at least in the NASDAQ 100. Kind of checking on these. I hadn't looked at Sears Holdings for a while. Another perennial short. Everybody's pretty much bet. In fact, when the stock was up around $70, $80, they were paying an extra $10 to get those shares short. You probably can't even find any today, although if you could, probably be a miracle. Maybe you could get 100 shares short. And then as soon as it goes up, they'll make you cover, and eventually this thing is going to break. Of course, Sears Holdings, the bastard child of Sears and Kmart, If the baby was dropped on its head, that's pretty much it. You've got just the worst of everything. And you had somebody actually, Kramer, drive this thing up, screaming, "Land bank, land bank, land bank." We've seen what actually happened after it failed. I'll always remember this stock because it was one of the ones I made a absolute monster on when it was Sears. If you go back long enough, if you can find just the straight Sears lows in March, I think, was it 2003 or 4? It had to be 2003. It was testing 100 million share low. Sears was on 10 million shares. And it coincided with that 786 market low in the S&P, and was one of the best times to buy. I bought $20 calls at about $1. It was trading about 19 and went to 27. I always loved that. I probably bought far too many of them at the time. I wouldn't do that again now with proper risk management. But I hadn't seen anything like that in a long time. There's a lot of times where you just kind of are playing in the market, and other times where you're going to make boatloads of money, like the March 2009 lows. And that's what I'll always remember about it. But I couldn't actually tell why it was going to take off like it did. But within about 2 weeks, they started announcing right after that they were molding with Kmart, and they were going to sell off as much land as they could. Of course, that worked for a few years until the top of the market in the real estate. Now they just don't have that much. Every time they sell, they've got a little less out there. And of course, the stores are not doing too well, either Kmart or Sears. And just a matter of time before this company goes bankrupt and everybody short it. Probably not going to get a good chance to get shares short or options on the thing that will ever pay off. But one day you'll just watch this thing break, and that will be it. Got about a minute or two. I wanted to go back and look at a few other stocks out here. Mostly Apple, still off about $8.50. I wanted to check in as far as the volume in the marketplace. Let me get to that. I've got so much stuff going on here. And that's all about talking to the Den and talking to our wonderful producer Steve, who refuses to play good music before the lead-in of the show, although he promises to play at least Emmy-winning, or not Emmy-winning, but a Grammy-winning song at least tomorrow. And we'll get on that. But I wanted to look at volume. 2.6 billion shares, much better than anything we've had this week so far. We continue to see at 1434. I suspect if we don't get some kind of bounce early in the morning, look for this market to continue to sell for the rest of the day and into the close. Let's see what I've got here. 1432. So we're up 2 points. I suspect we'll go negative on the close. And tomorrow morning, if we see some blowout to the downside, look for a lot of these people just to go ahead and start figuring that we're going to have a kind of negative candle on the week and start selling a little heavier into the weekend. You all have a great day, a safe day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, I'm on vacation next week. So get a phone call for tomorrow or email me.